You like your windows.
How are you, Michael Wayne?
How'd you get the remote in?
No good? Don't feel good?
No, I just found out some more bad news about my health.
No.
I got one of my dog. Yeah, I leave this leash attached to him.
Oh my God, you're dragging.
Tony, see where.
You like that, what was that vacation movie, Chevy Chase?
Yeah.
Where is the thing for the knock off the video?
Yeah.
Those gives me
Yeah, it can happen. Fix that window.
Well,
Hey,
hey,
over it, yeah.
X-rays and an MRI on my back. And I have just arthritis from this hip all the way over to this hip. It's kind of fused my spine, my hips, my pelvis, all in one big place. So they thought therapy would help that. Well, therapy didn't help it, so then I had to have an MRI. They found out that I have a slip disc, and there's two other things they said were wrong with my back. They were big words. I did not understand what they were, and I can't remember what they said. And now I just got a phone call from the doctor's office that I have osteoporosis in my neck. And so I have to call Jeff and tell him to go pick up my prescription.
Will you have to take injections?
I don't know, she didn't, I have to start out taking a pill.
Oh.
And I have to take it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach and then stand up for a half an hour because you can't lay down after you take it.
They wanted to do injections, I have it really bad.
Yeah.
So
Does it help?
I refused the injections. I did, so I started doing natural skincare. And when I had DEXA scan every 2 years, it showed improvement both times. Yeah, so, yeah, so no injection.
Well, I take everything they tell me to do.
Yeah, well, injections, when I read up on it, it causes your bones to be spongy inside. Yeah. So it's side effects, you know, so I did the natural. And so they're.
Well, where do I find that at?
I can remember now. Oh, which is lazy, yeah, called Alcacal, but it's $79 a bottle that lasts like a month. So I'll send you and messenger.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
I'm good, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
I gain a lot.
Thank you. Hopefully, it's forgiven me for telling you you can't have one.
I figured that was not possible.
Yeah, I just got a phone call from the doctor's office and they got my bone dips and that's back. And I have osteoporosis in my neck. And so I have, there's a prescription. Okay. And they've called it in, so I don't know how soon it's gonna be ready, but I'll get the text while I'm here and I can't answer while I'm here because I shut my phone off during the meeting. So it usually takes about a half an hour for prescriptions to get done. Can you go check on them? Because I said I needed to start taking it right away. They're open, the pharmacy's open till 9, isn't it? Or maybe 8, but this is only, yeah, this is only 5:45. Go maybe about 6:30. See if it's
I only
right.
saw 3 people. We can go up there.
Yeah, that's fine. Either Discover, American Express, whatever. I don't care.
Dragging here.
I love you. Bye bye. Where is all the council?
Did you tell?
We're sitting outside.
Are they?
Well, having a smoke break.
Ah, I didn't know they all smoke.
Oh, they don't.
They're all out there dabbing, probably.
Where are some councils on that?
Yeah. It's too hot for me out there.
Yes, or some cold in the winter time.
Well, we're supposed to be oppressive in the dew point for the next, until Monday at least.
Yeah, I don't know what comes next week. This whole.
This whole week stinks.
Great for the beginning Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't play live through it, but I'm making it. I told him, where's this next please, and we'll be there first. They are right next to a pavilion. And we can have our money, maybe get you the air conditioning.
Yeah. And there's trees down in that little area too. Or you can go sit out in the middle of the.
Water thing, yeah. He do it.
because they have the water path open already.
Yeah, so maybe me too.
Take yourself around, Sharon, he can supervise the other ones.
Downs was telling me that, there's some kind of big thing going on in park funds. The work rate is, it's on Sunday, they're not gonna clean the park on Sunday. The
I think
work
there's
rate's
some
gonna be dirty.
research.
Yeah, it might be a Friday, but the other thing,
All the end, will be in the park, I think it's this Saturday.
is it? Okay,
what-
that's over there.
Yeah.
That's. shoot.
And I think they pretty well, I think, well, pretty well moved that. So,
I never gone to it at all, but it sure
I'm
looks
not
nice.
I don't return to it either, but
It looks nice.
whenever I've been, it's always clean. And they always clean up that. part.
Oh, we did
Next day,
too, yeah. Yeah, anytime we went camping, we left it a lot cleaner than when we got there.
Especially with us women had to clean because the bean boys, they were all
Oh, yeah.
3 sheets to the wind.
Oh.
Those
Back in
people
those
could
days.
really hold it in, they could really put it away and not even really notice it.
In those days, people just threw their cigarettes anyway. Oh, my gosh. And pick up cigarettes forever. See, yeah.
They're really, none of them were smokers. I don't remember anything smoking.
Really?
She didn't smoke.
Wow.
And I got blamed and I was freezing over smoked and they started
It was your
smoking.
reason? You were the reason.
He came home one night from a date from me and he forgot because he would put out a cigarette and he would chew. And he walked in with a cigarette
Your famous fault, huh?
and she says, those women do it to you. He says, you can't tell my dad any different. If he's better.
Okay.
Okay. My son has this, I hope he learns that it. He smoked. Just. But how, Ellen smoked. And she smoked. She chewed for.
No wonder why she.
I know all of them, I know all the spiels.
Yeah, most of the guys that went to the army, you like smoking.
I like watching those guys like they're talking, you know, which guys, the guys that are always, always, you know, going everywhere, filming shit, house coming, everybody down. You can't be near this county property.
Yeah.
Meets you.
Is that, why are you in my seat? It's also over here, I don't care. Let's do it. Yeah.
Oh, come on, this is like good picture.
Oh, that's what happens, you have nice things and that's what happens.
Can't hit, can't have nice things.
What is wrong with you?
You come there, take my seat, you screw everything up.
See?
You ever see my folder sitting there?
No.
Yes, that's not mine.
Oh, is there a delay in the videos?
Yeah, big time. They're out the door and they're.
We have agendas or no?
Yeah, I just haven't
Haven't
gotten
gotten
them
them
out.
out, okay.
Sorry, I had a problem upstairs I had to take care of, and so I'm late getting things going here.
Got it. No, it's not in the car. I forgot it at home.
Here, Roberta, they
Little
are.
winter coats in the back of the truck.
Yeah, I stick it in the- Oh,
It's spilled coffee all over the place.
Oh, you.
I said Kay did. Oh, she's not here, I can blame her.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually. no.
That's yours. Here, I don't wanna lay it in the wet.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, made roll.
it's just all.
Just leave the towel truck wrap.
They are, they really are.
The only thing I don't understand is why, oh, I guess it's first they see it, but it doesn't say, oh, it doesn't say what it's for. Oh, useful. Never mind.
I'm sorry, what did you need?
I didn't.
Oh, I thought you said.
No, you have, no, I was just looking at this and I was like, why doesn't it say what it's for? But it does. So this is for the youth club. This is for text my government.
I was gonna say, I thought I put it all on there.
You did.
Oh, Justin.
Hello, Mr. Tram.
Oh.
I'm trying not to invade your space. Sorry.
Yes.
The Thursday meeting is still in the calendar.
Yeah.
That's the way.
I know, yeah, I know that, I know, I said square, that is one.
You didn't read it? You didn't read it?
You can read that.
Yes, I did.
And they subject. Picture at the end, and you know that. Yeah, she's. Yeah. Here, and you threw me out. Yeah.
It's not on.
See.
Sort of, well, I was there at 5 o'clock. Okay.
It's there. Makes sense. You can
Leave you.
No, understood.
It's there.
Did you tell me?
Said that it is there.
I'm doing my coffee.
He just looked.
You're kidding.
Hi there, hi there, hi there, hello there.
Yeah, he's.
How are you?
And he texted me, you're not there.
She making a mess? I did.
Careful now.
We should lay your stuff right there. Kelly, my stuff is right here. Okay, it's a microphone cover, I think. There you go. What is going to help with it?
It is.
Had a hard time.
This is, the appropriations, the 420, 1 minutes and the 590. I know that's just for your information. There's no signature sheet on there.
About to read this.
I just thought maybe it was better to put that on there, because if I had questions, I could ask me.
Yeah.
It's.
Is that okay?
That's the one I could think of is.
As we know that $5,000 wasn't for the power tool fund, because that's, people think that is
For the what?
the money we got from the CDC. That's actually ready. Right? Where's our agenda? $5,000 check for convention visitors.
Sure.
Should have proven today.
I think for patio.
Oh, is that one?
And then.
They
They
picked
kind
that up
of.
last week.
He did? Do we have? Do we have an agenda?
We had the commissioners come in and sign the special.
Oh, you?
You guys can get it.
Yeah. Did you see if they've got an agenda for us?
Yes.
It's here.
No, I know.
How's everything going?
Buddy.
A little time off.
Yeah. Won't have a trust that one. You ever had one?
Don't know, I think.
I don't know, it's a bad meal. I can't run.
Hey, Todd,
No, it's not.
do we have does she have an agenda printer?
It's not, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, where's the agenda?
Yeah, it's.
Okay, I see, I got it, never mind.
Anyway, that's who's supposed to.
You guys are fine.
Now, this two rules,
Okay.
I think this is. I ain't got no time on there, and it has minutes. Yeah,
No, I don't agree.
And you had to redo it. Which I understand. So.
What is the age being filmed? Okay, I see, okay. So we only have two things on our agenda of the public hearing.
Oh, I looked at it. Well, that's J, that says JLC. I thought we had something. I That's me. Because he told me that. Yeah. He had. I don't need it.
I mean. We're not really good to hear anymore.
So you changed the agenda on us.
Add that one thing.
It's, well, the original agenda was it just had it had the minutes first, but. Who's that a be? She's the one I talked to on the phone. I bet you. No, I must be losing my mind. David asked me personally, asked me if he's talking about next year. It's not the way you go. Yeah. Because it's not.
I don't. That's what I do.
I think I'm not. Like, how much I appreciate that.
No, we're not. So I try.
Or agenda that I. No, it's or.
And like some easy, like, just.
I could find a couple of accident kids and like, you know, help enter and flush and all and do things. They want to get.
Yes, I do. I looked at them all night. I got emails from the state, night.
Who's Bill? Right here.
You know? Saturday.
Bill and I, and we give him $15 an hour. Yeah, and I well for. Handyman, as far as doing what? I don't know about that, I don't know about that, but for like brush removal and things like that.
Have that on your agenda.
Well, that's on there, isn't it? That and that's on. That's what I said.
Here, let's shift down. Shift down. So we can-
Hello, Gene. How are you?
So
good. Doing okay?
Yeah.
Hello, brother.
Good. So are you, did you look today up here or? I did. Did you, how's things coming? We're caught up. So now it's on the. That's pretty good. Size, but understand, sort of thing I don't see on. It's obviously let's just make sure.
Just got that.
I don't. So, I know who it's. So, we're just. Yeah. Shows this weekend, and,
Stating.
That's every time. You know what we need to do.
Then we need to probably look that up and make sure.
Needs to be made.
Right.
So whether it's through public. I think it has to.
Be here all day.
That's what Todd told us there.
So Todd, do you have a list of applicants for BZA?
We don't know who's Republican, who's a Democrat.
And there's, the ordinance says, not more than two of the same township. But we don't know that, sure.
How many we got?
Everything's great. Everything's great. For the This meeting order, start with pledge allegiance.
Into all which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this is the June 16th, 25 county council meeting.
There we go, okay.
We are in quorum. Some of the ground rules tonight. Everybody will have a chance to speak at the end of it. There will be nobody speaking after motions are made. There will be 3 warnings for disrupting the meeting. The 3rd warning, you will be asked to leave or you will be removed. So let's keep that in mind and everybody play nice. Okay. With that being said, the first thing on our budget is Anna B.
That would be me. My name is Anna Bean. I'm the wife and widow of Homer Bean,
Oh,
which he passed away the morning of January 28th, and that's the reason I'm here. On January 28th, that morning, I tried calling 911 over 5 times, got a busy signal each time. I finally decided, and I worked at the hospital for over 30 years. I remember the front desk phone number, so I thought, well, I'll call the front desk. And so I called them, and while the phone was ringing, and this whole time I'm giving CPR mouth to mouth to my husband. I was contemplating, how am I going to get him, if I can't get help, how am I going to get him out of my house, to my car, to the hospital, and do CPR at the same time. So the hospital transferred me over to the dispatcher, and I got 911, and I did get help. But you are looking at a woman that is feeling guilt the whole time, even now. I don't know that maybe if I got a hold of 911, the first call, would my husband
Okay.
still be here?
Before we go any further. I appreciate what you're saying, but let's lay out the responsibilities of the county council. We are the physical body. We're the ones that appropriate the money. As far as the control, the 911 center or the jail, we have no say so in that at all.
Hold on, but I had talked to 2 people and asked them, how should I go about it? And they said, get a hold of the 911 administrator.
I'm gonna interrupt you, Anna.
Okay,
Anna spoke with me personally.
I think you might have spoke with me too.
And I told Anna to talk.
to 911
Correct me
administrator.
if I'm wrong, Anna,
No,
but to go to the 911 administrator.
That worked, Michael.
but on April the 17th, I messaged Stacy Noonan in regards to who, because I didn't know who was 911 administrator.
She is.
I messaged to her, who's in charge? And she told me, and that was April the 17th. This last Friday, she finally messaged me back and said, Brightspeed. Okay, Brightspeed is the phone company, it's not the computer itself. My daughter worked as a dispatcher for a few years back. She told me that, Mom, when you dial 911, if it goes to ring busy, then it flips over to another county, which she says normally it would be Marshall County. And I called from my landline.
So what do you want us to do?
Sirs,
We
Right.
don't have any answers because we have nothing to do with that. All we do is appropriate the money. We have no control over any employee up there. We have no control over anything they do. That's the commissioner's responsibility, not ours.
then I would, at the commissioners
Okay,
meeting this morning, I don't want nobody to have to go.
I understand that. I don't either.
And no little kid to try calling 911 and get a busy signal.
I understand that, but we, as a physical body, this is an administrative issue. Somebody would have to come to us in that and say, hey, we need, no.
To you.
I understand that. No, it has to go through the proper channels. It would have to go through the sheriff Or, I don't know what Donnie's here, what'd you say, Donnie?
I thought there was a morning, I go around and try to get it in. I not be the exact one, but I will.
Yeah. Because there's nothing this body can do.
Well, we can support her.
We be sympathetic, we can't go in there.
You can support me. Somebody else to go through. what
I understand, none of us do. I was a fireman for 20 years, Dave was a fireman, well, I get it. My dad was a doctor, I understand fully. But we as a body. There's nothing we can do, but. Other than support some endeavor to fix it, but somebody has to come to us.
Right.
The sheriff or the dispatcher and say, hey, here's a solution to what your problem is. Here's what's gonna cost, and then we can act on something, but we as a body can just not arbitrarily. Act on something that we have no control over.
Going, I even called the sheriff's office and I left a message on the answer machine for them to call me. Nobody called me
Once again, that's not a physical responsibility, that's administrative.
through the chain of command. So
Let me interject just a minute, because we do want to, personally, I want to get your help at.
I know.
And I'm gonna look, Donnie's the commissioner. And you talked to the commissioners this morning.
Yeah.
And Don, you said you're going to look into that, correct? Yeah, Don is,
in charge of being in mess and
he's
stuff.
a commissioner, they're
Yeah.
kind of the executors. And help me, Todd, if I'm wrong, and Dave.
They're the executive.
Yeah. I want to give you a little bit of
Executive
satisfaction.
administration, for you.
Not a little bit, I want to give you a lot, I want to answer your question, us collectively as the commissioners, Donnie said he was gonna look into it, and I really believe he will. If Donnie says he will, and work through Donnie, because he can work through the jail staff and the 911 staff. And hopefully get you the answers that you need, am I right, Don?
Because I don't want anybody else to go through what I've gone through.
No, it's stupid. Unfortunately, us as a body cannot act on anything to change that. No, that's what I was trying to explain it to you, because we're the physical. We're the money part. We're not the administrative. We have control over nothing. Other than the budget. We have no employees that answer to us. We have no buildings. We don't even have keys to this building. So we have nothing. So
Because what happened to me was not.
I understand. If Donnie said he's gonna take care of it and get you some answers, I'm sure he will.
Okay.
You went to the right people by going to the commissioners.
Okay. I did not know not to come to.
No, I understand. That's why I did, that's why I wasn't,
I voted, I don't know who in here I voted for.
I wasn't stop you to be rude. I was stopping you just from the standpoint of you're not gonna get any satisfaction with us. And I didn't want you to keep going any further
Yeah,
with your
because I
emotions,
don't-
that's all.
I don't want
That's the
nobody
only
to go
reason.
through what I went through.
I know,
Anna, I'm sorry. Boss.
Thank you.
I knew him, so,
Thanks, Kay.
all right, thank you. All right, what's fun? Michael?
Okay, Crew Roll brought us in. Almost $100,000, 78,000, I believe it was, that we were able to put back in. To our funds. Due to finding homesteads that were being received in several different counties. Or somewhere else. But last year was the first year we had it, and like I said, we got back that much money, just from March till December. But now this year, last year they charged a percentage of 30%. This year it's, they're gonna have a contract to take care of, no matter how much it is, for $11,500, no matter how. Plus, they also, thanks to them, we've gotten a lot of homesteads removed that kept us. From losing that money. So we have 10,000 appropriated in that fund that we can use for this, but we need 1,500 more.
Not to be a devil's advocate, but if they change the rate of it, that tells me there's not much more to find.
Exactly, yeah. I was gonna say, because they were paying $6,000 or $7,000 when they talked to us a year.
Right? I mean,
Is what it was gonna cost it. Right?
did the commissioners act on it?
Yeah, they approved it. They signed it.
Good point.
Real
So-
quick.
We allowed True to have a Laredo subscription for free, which they closed that months ago. So they backed out and said they don't need that Laredo subscription anymore. So they're not. Thing is what that tells me.
That's what it tells me too, but
What did I missed it?
So before, Bruce, they went through all the properties and they found that if you had a homestead here and had one somewhere.
Absolutely.
You made, they had to lose when they paid back the homestead, right? And they gave us a percentage of the money they collected, so we got $78,000, so they must have collected hundreds of thousands of dollars, obviously.
No,
or no, hundred
They came
maybe.
straight to us
Yeah.
and we just paid them the 30%.
So we paid them 30%, so that means we paid them $25,000 for it, but they had to work for that $25,000. Now, since obviously there must not be that much work left, they just want us to give them 11,500, and then that's the end of it.
They're not willing to do it, stick to just 30% anymore.
Well, but as I remember, they were talking like when Rachel come in front of us, it was like $6,500 or so. Do you remember, Dave? Cause it wasn't $11,000.
I think Todd's right, like they probably looked at it and thought there's probably not as much income, available.
Certainly thank them for what they did.
It's a good play.
It is a pretty good play.
Maybe we should table it and find out what they promised. According to what Bruce says, it's probably not, I mean, just to make sure, it probably wouldn't hurt another month,
Yeah.
right? I mean.
It'd be
It's
okay
not
to
tax
keep them
time
if
anyway.
they just continued their 30%.
Well, subscription that they would have used would have been a $300 subscription, the way that they were using minutes on the radio. So they would have owed me $300 a month, but we let them do that for free. So
So how many homestead applications do we see? They've done away with that, right?
No, just a mortgage exemption.
The mortgage is that, but so how many homesteads do we have? Don't we have the ability to double check and make sure they're not?
We don't have the ability to go to other counties and
No.
search their files and things,
Okay,
see if the same people are getting. And that's what they do.
It was a great idea on the front end,
There is.
You're probably right. And
Well, it looks pretty obvious to me, I mean.
yeah. And that's different than what we talked about when
So-
Rachel was.
With
I
that,
wasn't here and from the get-go, I only know how much we collected and how much we paid them. Cause I wasn't here back in
so
March.
here's another devil advocates thing. If we don't do it, then somebody decides they want to do it in a year, there might be enough in there that we can get back to 30%.
Yeah.
Or pay them the 30% instead of paying 11,500 for nothing.
I think Dave's right. I think we ought to table it. And if you entertain that motion, I'll second it.
second years.
Do we have a motion?
I'll move that we table it.
Okay, we have a motion by Bruce to table the roll call or true roll contract, second. Dave, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried, table.
I should invite them to come. I would invite them to come in front of us, okay? What do you think, Todd? I think that's the wise thing.
Yep.
But
All right, the next thing on the agenda is the public hearing for additional appropriations. Do we have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
We have to have a second vote on it.
A second to open the public hearing.
I'll second.
Okay, the public hearing is open, and here are the additional appropriations. Seated, other services and charges, Stark County Youth Club, $10,000. Hume Capital Development, $5,000. That was for the MyTex Gov Alerts. And the jail seated was $57,799. That was for dispatch software. And the next one is local roads and streets, capital outlay, which is $146,924, and that was for new tractors. We don't have the total amount of
The tractor.
do we?
Total amount for what?
For the whole
Load up.
thing, doesn't matter.
So they're a different fund.
Hey, do we have any public comment,
I just have a question.
Roberta?
The jail seated, is that the reimbursement from them? Isn't that what we ended up using for solar, because we had the deadline or something? 57,000 from solar.
No, we used that was for the cop cars.
Never mind.
Yeah, okay. Do we have any other comments? Okay, do you have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
Okay, with that being said, do we have a motion to approve the additional appropriations as read?
I'll move.
Have a motion by Bruce, second by Bill. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. All right, next thing, we're gonna buzz right
I
through.
need that,
We gotta sign it first.
yeah, that's right.
Where's, she's got it right there.
Okay.
Next thing, we have the
I
minutes.
don't think she has one.
I don't have to sign one.
Yeah, you do right there. Matt.
Oh, yeah, right here. Here. Okay, the next thing we have are the minutes from 4/21/25 and 5/19/25. Do we have a motion to approve the
I'll
minutes?
take that motion.
Have a motion by Kay and a second? And a second?
They've been revised so many times, I don't know if we're pitching or catching.
The minutes?
Just revised it.
No, not the minutes. No.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, yeah. Well, I cannot because I did not.
Okay,
Did
So-
you second it, Bill?
Yes.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? If Bruce wasn't even opposed.
What's that?
He felt
So we gotta sign this.
so.
That I was gonna
Yeah.
do?
Okay, the next thing we have on here is the budget and the set dates for hearings and adoption.
Yeah, I was wanting to know, I had to turn something into them the first week of June. A pre-budget workshop form. And so I just put in dates because I had no idea what you guys wanted. I had to wait for a meeting for that. I put in a hearing date of 8/18 and an adoption date of 9/15, but if that doesn't work for you guys.
I'm not so sure we can do it in one day, can we? Unless we start at 8 o'clock in the morning.
8/18 doesn't work.
How do you know that far out?
I don't,
Vacation.
no, it's not a vacation,
Okay, no,
no.
I mean, that's my thought.
No, he's got other issues.
Okay,
I understand.
so that's a
What
Monday.
What dates do work?
What days do work for you?
Any date other than the 18th of August.
When are you gonna be gone, Dave? You know?
I don't have my calendar unfortunately, so. I mean, but we have a Zoom policy, so don't do it on me, cause that's legal for me to. Take from Zoom. If we can get it to work,
Yeah,
which it's working now.
well, how about 8/19?
It's fine.
What's our meeting date that month?
8/18 is your regular meeting.
Oh, okay. So you were just thinking that we would,
Well, we're
a lot
gonna
of times
start,
we do it that
with-
day. So will you be at the meeting, Howard, on the 18th?
He's gonna be gone.
I'm gonna try, yeah, I'll be at the meeting on the 18th, but during the day, I can't.
Oh, during the day, right?
because the budget hearings, we gotta start them fairly early.
Yeah, but I mean, just in case something comes up that we need to bring up the meeting, would you still want to have it before the meeting though and not after? I'm just throwing that out there.
We can have it anytime.
Because the 19th,
17th will work,
That's
17th Saturday or Sunday.
Right. 16th will work.
15th.
15th will not work for me.
you're gonna be in Sturgis, aren't you? That week?
No.
Oh.
We could do the 14th, which is Thursday. The 14th.
Dave, Michael, sorry. This is for the hearing, right? Not for the workshop.
This is for the actual hearing, yeah,
Yeah.
for to adopt the.
Do you want workshops before that? I wasn't here last year.
Yeah, I thought that's what we were doing.
That's what
No, this is for the hearing.
We have to have workshops
When did you do that in June?
and everybody's gonna come here or else their
Last year
budget's
we did
gonna
in
get
July.
cut. Right off the bat.
After the
Okay, so-
county fair.
When do you want the workshop then?
First, let's decide when we're gonna have the hearing. Or the,
That's why I say the hearing itself, you might want to have
Okay.
before or the day of the meeting. I don't know if I would have it after, just in case
or we
something
could
comes
have,
up, so I would say.
we could have
try
the
to do it the
14th,
14th works for me.
8/14,
For the hearing?
yes. So then the budget workshop,
Well, it's
Okay.
gotta be July, June's done,
yeah,
pretty much. I mean,
pardon me?
some will disagree.
No, it's gotta be in July, I think.
A lot of people are busy for the fair week.
So Fair Week
June,
is,
right, end of June.
Next week.
20, yeah, it starts at
Or
20.
starts
Saturday. I mean,
wow,
fair is this month.
so we can have it in
Next
July,
week.
right? We're
We
not
done
having
in
it
July
June,
before.
July 7th, which is a Monday. How's that work for everybody? Doesn't work for you? How about July 8th? How about July 8th?
I'll make it work if I have to, if I'm gonna.
So
Zoom.
we need to start early. I think we need to start probably like 9 o'clock. Because it could take a while.
7, 8, you said, Todd?
Yeah,
July 8th at 9 AM.
at 9 AM. That work for everybody? All right.
just so I confirm with Justin, because it seems like there is some confusion. If somebody's here via Zoom, it's legal, right? So it says via Zoom, but I still sign, right? Like it's
Yeah,
still a
you
legal
guys-
participation.
I mean, it predates me, but I've been told you guys passed a policy back in
Yeah, we
21,
did.
so, or 20, yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure I didn't mess the paperwork up.
Okay, do we need a motion for this? Probably right.
Just said it, I would.
Okay, so we're gonna have the, read the dates, Michael, as I forgot already.
It's 8/14/25 and the workshop is July 8th at 9 AM. What time do you want the hearing?
On the 14th.
On the
6
14th,
o'clock,
6 o'clock?
just like every other one, so everybody will be here.
Okay,
Should be.
but then you might want to do the adoption do all motion at the same time.
Yeah.
I had it down for 9:15,
So
the adoption. That's your regular meeting.
that's fine, that's right. Okay, so do we have a motion to have those two meetings?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion to have our August and July budget meetings. By Kay, second,
So what is it gonna be, the eighth?
July 8th at 9
9 AM, I'll say-
Workshop, August 14th at 6 PM for the hearing and 9.
The
September
19th for the-
15th for the adoption,
For what,
our regular meeting would be the adoption of the budget.
9:15, you're right.
okay, we're gonna do the adoption in September?
Yes.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, all in favor? Okay.
And Todd,
Yes, sir.
normally you would make a recommendation though to the people that are doing their budgets, they probably already started. Do you want them to put a raise in or not? Do you want them to go up, down, stay the same?
I was thinking about that today, Dave, and it's whatever the council thinks, but. I think they can maybe add their 3% raise in there, but if we have to cut, that's the first place it's probably gonna go.
So what we've done before is we've asked the auditor to do it two ways.
Yeah,
With the 3% calculated, without, that way we have the
Well,
numbers.
I want the budgets for this year. Their budgets they're working off of now. Here, or the salary ordinance at very least, so we can compare. And make sure,
Yeah, well, she'll have that in two columns,
Yeah.
like we normally do that, but I mean, for them to prepare though, between now and July, they
Most
kind of need.
everybody's turned them in already.
Yeah, I heard that, so it's probably there, but.
So what have they turned in, a 3%?
Some of them turned in more, but when they asked me, I said, don't turn in more than 3%, but some of them have anyway.
you know, if they turn in more than 3, we'll probably cut that right off the bat, and then. May have to cut the whole thing, who knows? I don't know what the state's gonna do.
But when we do the budget workshop, the thing we're usually challenged with is. If they increased their budget also and a raise. That makes it hard sometimes, especially we found out last budget hearing or budget workshop. That some things caused the budget to go up a lot and we were on the edge. This
Yeah.
year, we're really gonna be on the edge.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I would think that. Everything will be cut, everything may have to be cut. To less than what the budget is now. I mean, we don't know.
And I think the sheriff was putting in for some budget, or for some raises, for 27 and 28, and we can't entertain that.
No, we can't vote on a cost of living raise for 3 years in a row. We're doing salary ordinance by the year, not for that long.
I think though, when we met with them, the idea though was it was still gonna be within budget parameters, right? It was just like moving stuff around though, like.
There's,
I haven't had a chance to really look
there's
at it in detail
there's
yet, but-
numbers, but I don't know where they compare.
Well, that was what they said though, right? That it wasn't gonna change their overall need.
I never liked that word matrix.
Cause it's like they were gonna use the range, right? Like the other departments have. So that way somebody starting out isn't making more than a person that's been there
Right.
for 5
It's
years.
hard to tell that by that without looking at salary, it's where
Yeah,
that
right.
lower range is even at compared to anything.
That was their goal.
So we'll address that when we get to it.
Yeah, right.
Okay, the next thing on the list is ordinance number 14.
Well, the next thing on the list is the budget that I sent you guys. Is that sufficient for you guys, for me to turn in for you? I emailed it to you twice, I think.
It doesn't matter. I don't care.
I just basically did it off of your last budget, adding a 3% raise, and I added money for meetings because some of you didn't want meetings.
There should be a longevity in there too for me.
There is.
For me. What do you mean money for meetings? For who?
For if you guys wanted to go to
Oh,
council
I
meeting,
thought you meant we're gonna try to pay us to come to this meeting.
the state call meeting. State meetings that, you know, you have once a year.
Oh, you mean the ones I've never been to?
Yeah,
I spent
that
the
you
taxpayers'
probably
money.
should go to.
I'm not
Um,
a taxpayer.
I,
money on
I
it.
went to the state call meeting last year and it was well worth it.
You know, as long as one of us goes to the state call meeting and they come back and bring us the information, don't need to spend money on 7 of us.
No, especially if there's one close by instead of going down to,
Right, only put in $3,000, so that. But that's,
it'll be a hell of a party.
no, not if more than one of you go. You got mileage, you got the hotel bill.
We
you
have
got
county,
the cost
we
of
have
the meeting.
county car, there shouldn't be any mileage.
Well, as I remember right, it was just a 1-day deal, and so I don't think I'd ever go and stay the night. I
would-
don't
You
think it
guys can take it out.
I definitely.
wasn't necessary.
That's fine. All right, ordinance number 14, did you guys even get a chance to look at that? Justin sent it out. I sent to Kay again because she couldn't find it.
Yeah, so I just briefly, council member had asked me to put something together, that just mirrors the state statute that they would have adopted a year or two ago. That just addresses decorum of meetings. It just says that if you are going to establish meeting procedures or a way to remove people from a meeting if they're disorderly, then you have to publish it via ordinance and also post the rules at the entrance place to your guys' meeting. So the exhibit that's attached to the ordinance will be posted. And again, there was one other town, and I called and talked to their clerk treasurer that I found they had considered something. So I just kind of adopted theirs for your guys' use. You can tell me if you'd like it, you don't like it, you want to consider it, but again, I was asked to draft something up for you guys and present it. So again, tell me what you like or don't like, and I can make the changes and we can go from there.
So you say you've sent us a copy of the ordinance?
It was over email. There's an ordinance and then there's an exhibit. So the ordinance itself just basically says, this is the statute that allows you to promulgate the rules. The exhibit saying these are the actual rules. There's like 9 or 10 maybe.
Is that something we can act on?
I mean,
Yeah.
they mimicked quite a few of the ones that I saw.
I think so.
Pretty,
You had a question on like how many minutes?
Oh. It doesn't really matter about the minutes because
3 minutes.
that can be changed at the start of the meeting regardless.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't matter. Did you read it, Dave?
Yeah.
I mean, it's real similar to some other ones I looked at. I think Marshall counties might be like that. Except for Marshall County, I don't know if they even allow any public comment. Which,
I'm with Bruce, though. I think maybe we should.
I honestly have not seen
seek a little bit more.
And actually at last year's AIC meeting, we spent 2 sessions just on decorum.
yeah,
That is it is important that we address that. And it's not just
So-
in Stark County, it's statewide.
will that ordinance have to be published as well?
Yeah, I would publish it in the newspaper because it has a penalty provision in it, which is your ouster from the meeting.
Yeah,
So.
all right. So do we all want to review it in the next meeting? I guess we can act on it.
But would that work?
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. We haven't had one ever, so.
I think it would be best.
Yeah, so another month's not gonna really matter. So I guess
You
we,
want me to advertise it right away?
well, we can't because we need to look at it.
Publication would be after that.
Yeah. So, Gene,
Isn't that addressed in Roberts somewhere? Isn't there language in there that addresses unruly
Not-
behavior? I thought these meetings are conducted according to Roberts.
not really like that.
Not unless the unit adopts Robert's Rules of
Yeah.
Order, which most units haven't. So you can adopt it, but yeah.
This ordinance is much more thorough. And it mimics a lot of other counties. So with that being said, do we have a motion to table?
I'll make that motion to table it.
Okay. Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? So Michaeline, can you provide paper copies? Not today, but sometime to everybody so they can look
You
at
want me
it.
to mail them to them or put them in their mailbox?
Mailbox, whatever.
I'm okay with electronic.
Yeah, I'm okay with it too, but
Just email one more time if you would,
Hey,
please.
Bruce, you want a paper copy?
It doesn't matter.
I'll print out what you do.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Sandy usually pulls mine up.
All right. With that being said, we're down to the, what do you mean? Why is that on there?
Tractor?
I'm asking.
I thought we had to address
It
that.
might be the tractor that was brought up in the meeting today.
Yes,
Maybe.
you said you wanted me to add that, so.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Mike asked me to explain that to you guys. See, now I'm sitting here getting muddled. So here's the thing. They have a John Deere tractor. It's the one that has the side mower. The transmission's been acting up pretty bad, like it'll move enough to pull on a trailer. But that's it, so they talked to John Deere. John Deere wants 20 to 25,000 and to fix it, and Mike thinks that it's gonna be 10 to 15% higher than that. A new Kubota's 60,000. And Mike thinks that somebody, and I agree with this, somebody that knows John Deere probably knows it may be an easier fix for what it's doing. But the dealer has to, go that route. It's a pretty big tractor, you gotta take all the stuff off at the cab and everything. He said you have to take the differential out to get, you probably know which tractor it is from being out there so much too. So I said I would bring all that up for him tonight at the meeting.
So what did the commissioners do about it? Anything?
Now, we're gonna take it away from John Deere and take it back to the shop.
Okay,
So we decide, like Dave saying, but I think it was 25, just looking.
25, yeah, well, once you did the 25,000, or once you let them look at it, you're committed, like there wasn't no just split it.
yeah.
Check it out, put it back together, they won't do that.
So we don't have anything to really act on.
No, I think they just
Oh.
mainly wanted you guys to be aware.
Yeah, Mike just wanted the council to know the story on it because he's.
Is that something that the dealer might take in and? Even though it's a project, I say, is that something that we could trade in?
Well, I don't know what Kubota who we bought from, but I did tell Mike to tell Rachel to check with John Deere, because they did offer us a good.
But Mike also thought bid.gov might bring the most.
Yeah.
'Cause the other-
Fill it on that.
Yeah.
And put that money toward the new track.
Yeah, well, looking at it, it's a pretty nice looking tractor.
Yeah, it is, but what is this?
They've got the-
That's where we put up.
So
same place we did the auction.
So they use them for that?
Okay,
Do you use them? New ones, are they ready?
Well, if they're not, they're any day they'll be using the second. The first one I seen, because I seen it go by the house.
Okay,
It's fitting real good. Yeah.
all right. All right, anything else from the council?
Well, I got one thing, but I'll defer to everybody else in line. On the last one, anybody else have anything? So, two things, so remind me that there's a number two. I sent the paperwork from October. Today I mentioned to the commissioners that I wasn't speaking for any of the council, but for myself, for my constituents, I'm supporting doing a economic development agreement with the next Terra project. With things going on with the new Senate bills and just the way the budgets are going, I just hate to miss out on that $1 million of money. Purdue did a study. We paid for a study. I know there was exception by at least one council person that Todd and I approved it. I really feel, going back on that as a council, we all said, let's do a study, and I don't feel like there were stipulations on it. I mean, it's up to Todd. We could go around the room and see if anybody, but I felt like we had the backing of the council on that when we said yes. In fact, Todd knows more about that stuff, so he kind of took the lead on that. He really was the one that said yes on that. But we have two studies that said that it's better to do the economic development agreement with the tax evasion.
I still think we need a study that breaks it down more, because let's just do some simple math here. So it's $750,000 a year, not $1 million, it's $750,000 a year. So if there's 23,000 taxing parcels in Stark County, that's $39 a parcel. So even if they're 2%, even at the 30% depreciation, we're not gonna get any more money. That's absolutely 100% correct. But the taxpayers will pay less money because the tax rate will go down.
Well, see, that,
$450 million, even at 30% depreciated. Tax levy and all that's gonna do is stop us from getting money.
That was broken down in both of those.
It's not
studies,
gonna
actually.
change, so.
But that
$39 for this is nothing. So that was never told to us in that study. All it was told is that we would not get more money as a county. It was never really broken down what happens with the taxpayer. I'm more concerned about taxpayers.
We have to also think about this too, like we talked about in the meeting today. We've got real property and we've got personal property at stake here. The personal property, which you did mention, that is going to depreciate.
Yeah, even if it's depreciated 30%, it'll still be considerably more than what this is.
We're getting the money on the front end and able to front load other projects.
I would rather have the taxpayers have the money and not us, not the county government. That's what I feel. But we need somebody to, that's what we need explained to us. How much more is it gonna be for the
So
individual?
then we need to look at
taxpayer
somebody that can do that. for us.
Based on the.
Well, and that's what was understood the last meeting. I stressed that.
Yeah, Tara said she talked to
I
somebody,
did
but she doesn't
stress
have
that,
anybody,
and-
and I don't know.
Nobody wants to address what dollars are gonna stay in the pocket of the
Yeah,
tax.
that's all that matters to me.
And I know most people can spend their money better than we can.
Yep, I don't care
all I'm
about
gonna
front
say.
end or anything else. That's all I care about,
Well,
bottom line.
What I would say though, is at some point, maybe there needs to be like a discussion with commissioners and council and review all those that we have so far. Because the other thing I was gonna recommend is, with the changes that are coming next year, it might behoove us to contact, one of the entities that we've worked in the past. And have them do a study an impact study for Stark County. We need to know what's gonna happen
Yeah,
here starting
we need to
next
know.
year. And so we need the prediction on that.
What do you have? For a recommendation for somebody to do something like that? Do we need to go to an accountant? The DLGF is probably not gonna tell us anything.
If it's just like an impact study, not specifically with solar. I mean, honestly, Baker Tilly is.
Yeah, Baker Tilly.
They were just kind
Well,
of
we
looked
need
at
that,
it before.
but we really need it on the solar to figure out,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, there's a guy in Argos. What is the name of his business?
Argos, Indiana, he's an economist.
Oh, I know who he is.
Yeah,
He's the guy who owns,
Small town,
he owns all the buildings.
yes.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does that.
small town Indiana is the name of his
Yeah,
business or whatever. I don't know if that's somebody.
I don't know,
can
I mean-
answer some of those questions.
I want the best deal. I could care less about solar one way or the other. I really don't care. I don't care. I care about what is best for the taxpayers and not us making some deal where some politicians down the road 5 years later is gonna have some wild ass idea with all this money and do something.
I don't disagree, because Bruce brought that up before about the spending the money. I hate to forecast that and make predictions. Hopefully the voters will elect somebody that is qualified to do that. I hate to base whether we do it on that. The bottom line is that that's a lot of revenue.
Well,
And 2 studies have said that it's a better idea for us to take the taxes. I mean, I don't know how many studies
but
would
those,
say that.
those 2 studies were done based on how much money the county was gonna get, not based on how much it was gonna save the taxpayers.
The last study we had done
Going up.
showed it both ways.
So that's why that's what we
We
have.
don't
to
have
look
it
at.
right now, but it showed it both ways, the last study.
That's what we need to look
did.
at, and I don't know, is next era gonna come in front of us, or are they just gonna let's make all the
I
calls
mean,
by
don't
ourselves?
they have to apply for it? I mean, we just can't, huh?
They already did. Isn't
That's
there-
what I sent today from October.
But we're going back again. Wasn't there two EDAs?
No.
There was only one?
But the position though that they're taking is that, cause I asked Justin actually today in the commissioners meeting, cause. I know that a couple of you said you'd like to hear how the commissioners feel about it too. But what they said basically is we made an offer. So you've got a breadboard for it. If you don't like it, cause they made some changes based on what we brought up at that meeting that we had over in town. Take that as the breadboard, throw the ball in our court and we make some suggestions. My only concern is that we run out of time, because that was brought up before. The SB1 says the end, that it has to be in by 2028, so by 2028, it's gone anyways,
Yeah.
but. As soon as they put a piling in the ground or framework in the ground, we're done anyways. And I'm just gonna reiterate, just so everybody knows, I was elected by my constituents. I'm supporting it. I just want that on the record then. That's however else we decide to go there, so. But,
I'm on the record as not supporting or supporting it. I'm on record as supporting what is best for the individual taxpayer.
And I
Plain
think
simple.
once we have that figure, then we can add it together and see.
So we have to figure out how to get that figure.
the previous study, though, the very last one, the one you and I approved, actually did tell us 2 different ways.
But it did not, it wasn't definitive enough that I feel.
It gave us the bottom dollar. I mean, it didn't break it out in 20 pages. It was only like 7 pages, but it did tell us that, the 2 options.
Well,
Because the problem is the net assessed value. Don't forget, that's all divided by the net assessed value.
Yeah.
The actual real property went from 1,100 an acre to like 13,000 or whatever it was.
right.
So there was a big,
I understand
that
that.
helps that a lot already.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the personal property.
Yeah, we're talking about
impact.
$450 million.
Right, enormous.
Yeah, and
You know.
at depreciation, that is way more, even at the tax, even at the levy. It's way more per individual probably 3 times more than what it is if we take the EDA.
But that recent study we had showed that it doesn't impact it like you would think it would. It doesn't, like. We don't have time to put it on the screen
No,
now. It's just something to look at again. Maybe we need to recirculate that study again too. One of us
Yeah.
probably has it. I'll look to see if I have it too, but send it back to everybody.
All right. With that being said.
There was second thing. What was your second?
The second thing was just. Baker Tilly is doing studies for several counties right now. I have some insight, not insight to that from some other counties about the impact to the counties for next year. Just so we know, do we have to cut? Do we have to find, money? Do we have to restructure?
I wonder if they're doing one for Cass County.
Well, apparently some counties have already found out. I think you brought that up.
So
That they're already having to cut.
I will see that commissioner tomorrow. Last time I talked to him, he wasn't real happy.
But I would like to have somebody give us a figure of what amount of money is gonna go back to our taxpayers after it's amortized over what, we're doing this for 15 years. How does that impact? If something would come up and the disposition of the federal government changes on their subsidies to the solar, I wanna be sure that we're gonna have this income. If not, I wanna be sure
So
that the taxpayers are getting their money back.
As opposed to Baker Tilly?
this whole thing to me
I
is
don't
like,
know.
is
I
like the
don't
true,
see where
it's like the true roll contract, okay? They're not gonna give us a bunch of money because it's a good deal for us. They're doing it because it's a good deal for them.
Of course. That's anybody,
And that's understandable.
but they're gonna go through this project no matter what.
Well, that's fine, then we'll get tax money then.
Are you against Baker Tilly?
Sure.
I'm not against anybody. I don't care,
We are screwing ourselves.
I don't care what we do. We just need a definitive answer, what it is.
And
It's personal property. It's gonna be assessed. You're gonna tell me that their personal property can be assessed and we can't collect it, but we can go out here to our taxpayers. Is that what you're saying? So I understand?
No, solar is completely different. So if you look at the solar and you go to all the new statutes and the changes in 2022, all that was changed. So I apologize to everybody. I didn't say much the last meeting, but I have spent countless hours on the phone with DLGF.
We need to figure all that out.
I have asked several other state representatives for information and so forth, and this is something that it can't be answered just that easy. It's going to take a firm, an accountant firm, to work with the new laws and so forth to give us that number. There's no matrix for us to come up with that ourselves because they don't even know yet.
So we're saying is the old studies are useless.
So what I'm saying is nobody has ever asked the question that Bruce asked. And I took that to heart when Bruce asked it, because first thing I did was start calling and say, hey, who do I talk to? And I made it quite a ways, but I never did get the answer that I wanted for the percentage for the taxpayers. For what happens if we do the ERA and,
And you probably won't from them.
and
And
it's a difficult.
if we're getting more money by them, paying us per kilowatt, then definitely that's what we should do if we're guaranteed that we're gonna get this over 15 years, but I can't believe that we can't get a figure to tell us how that's gonna affect the taxpayers.
Probably.
I just, that's like compensation without representation.
We're gonna, well, it actually is summarized in that other study. We'll have to recirculate that. It really is in there. But what about Baker Tilly if we're gonna ask them about that? Or maybe,
Just,
can you reach out to them?
we can reach out to them, but it's probably gonna be. It may be $10,000-15,000, maybe more.
To do the solar study?
Because
So
they're
we
gonna-
paid 3,500.
They're gonna do, but they're gonna do what Bill said. Now the laws have changed. And so that old study is really probably useless.
When you go through there and you start researching it, it really changes in 2000. Into 2021, 2022, there was a lot of legislative changes.
So,
So
so I wonder if we can take that old study, Dave, and send it to Baker Tilly. And say, how much would it be for you to do? For us, and look at this, is this one correct still?
Well, we can send them both studies.
Is this
We're
one
doing
right?
An independent one.
But we're gonna have to have money to do it.
Well, I mean, that would be smart to spend solar money on that. We have the money in that account.
That's what I would say too.
I agree. But the thing of it is, I mean, I hear people say, oh, you guys are gonna blow the county with millions of dollars. And I just like to see it black.
I would.
And no offense to everybody, but I just like to see it in black and
Well, I
white.
think everybody's taxpayers would want to see it in black and white.
May I tell you what I saw in black and white? Do you mind?
We're talking right now. As soon as we get done, we'll take comment from the public, then you can speak.
Oh.
As soon as we get done, all right, we're staying by that. And we have other business with Mandy too. So,
It was after you came, Deb.
Yeah.
He did explain that in the beginning of the meeting that.
that's the only time I have to explain it. We'll have an ordinance adopted.
I don't think it should be that hard to figure out whether it's the best interest in the taxpayer to have their taxes personally. Everybody's gonna get my opinion now. I sit back and listen. Some say they're completely for it, some say they're completely against it. I don't know right now. I tend to agree with Bruce. I'm gonna use fictitiously, if somebody's paying $1,000 a year in property taxes, $1,000 a half, $1,000 a year, however it be. What's that gonna cut their property tax? Is it gonna go from $1,000 to $950? Or is it gonna go from $1,000 to $998? There's a big difference in that.
Yes, that's exactly.
And that's what Bruce has been asking for the last meeting, and I understand it perfect. And I would like to see that in black and white, because obviously the homeowner, the taxpayer can spend their money much more wisely than we can, in my opinion. And I would like to see, before I would make my mind up, I would like to see a study. And it doesn't have to be a real elaborate study, the most reasonable way we can. I would like to see a study saying how much is the taxpayer going to save off of there when they go write the check to the office across the street, or right up across the hall. How much is it gonna save? Is it gonna save them $100 or $2?
Well,
Big difference.
We need a majority though to agree on who it is, because the last time, like I said, Todd and I.
Even that again.
Decision.
I agree with you.
I feel like we made the decision with the backing of the council.
We're not doing that.
So I'm gonna do it here, so I'm not gonna elaborate on that, but because the thing is, it was in there, but the person that called us out on the study said they didn't trust the source. It's in there, it's in that study,
We're not.
but they didn't trust the source.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think Baker Tilly is reliable. We've worked with them many
I
times.
don't think we have much of a choice,
I'm fine with that.
right? I mean. What is it?
There's one of the minutes are missing.
Well,
They got it down there. They're signing it. All right, so. We're gonna have to set. We're gonna have to set a limit. And where are we gonna take the money from?
Well, I think.
Unless-
I think. so.
Unless you want me to just contact them and have them tell us how much it's gonna be. And then come back to the next council meeting.
No, I would
and
go
say,
I would say, let's do it now. Give you the authority to do it.
all right. I'm all about getting it over with.
I make a motion that we hire Baker Tilly to do a study in comparison to an EDA or putting it on the tax rolls, do a comparative study and report back to the council of the findings.
What's your amount?
Yeah, we have to have an amount where it's gonna come from.
50?
I make it that it comes out of our solar money.
What's your number?
15,000.
Say 50.
50?
How much did you say, Dave?
I'd say 50, just so it's covered. It'll probably be 10,000.
Well, I don't want.
But just so we're
I don't
covered.
want them to hear it's
We
50,000.
don't have 50,000 in there. Huh?
Oops, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
15.
A limit of $15,000.
All right, so motion by Howard to me to contact Baker Tilly. Do a comparison of the change in assessed valuation versus the EDA payment for an amount of $15,000.
Second.
Discussion on that second.
Go ahead.
Can we also authorize Todd to just mention to them that we're interested in a quote for an evaluation for an impact study for the new tax laws too?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
thanks, Dave. Good idea. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And that was with that included.
With Dave's addendum. Okay, opposed? All right. All right, Mandy,
I'll make this quick. We've done this for the last 3 or 4 years. It's just the ordinance to use my perpetuation fund, the recorder's perpetuation fund, for other stuff other than what the statute calls for. You got it?
and this doesn't have to be advertised or anything.
No, well, you're asking for approval in July, or Mandy, or you want to do it right now?
If I can do it now, I'd like it done now.
Commissioners did approve it this morning,
They
right?
don't have to, it's only a council. Cause it's not. It's a statutory fund. And all they're doing is letting me use that money for other than statutory purposes.
Did it last year.
Thanks, we've done this every year.
Every
Yeah,
year.
we've done this every year.
Yeah, I'm in favor of that.
There is an ordinance number on it, but.
No,
probably
because you don't have an ordinance, but
it'd be
you're making it today. I don't know what.
15 probably, right?
Yeah,
Less.
I think of it, 15 is the next. Wait, I got it.
Yeah,
And assigned is my attached affidavit.
yeah, I do that.
Any
Okay.
questions?
Okay, so Mandy's in front of us with an ordinance establishing the use of recorder's records perpetuation fund and mileage during the calendar year of 2025 for Stark County. This is something we approved every year.
I'll make that.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second, discussion? All in favor?
Uh,
Aye. Okay.
Here's your signed
Check out.
copy.
Should, you gotta send one down to sign or?
Yep, I'm sending it right now.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Okay, I think that concludes all our business. We'll go around the room for final comments and we'll be out of here. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was just throwing it. Sorry about that. I thought I was supposed to sign it. I'm sorry.
What all of the states doing and how it's gonna impact the county, right? How that's gonna go forward. And you go through your budget here, and hopefully you'll have that information.
We'll have it.
If I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm hearing this. If the state makes you cut, they say, this is all the money you're gonna get. It sounded from the sense of things, there's no interest in raising taxes in the council. Is that correct?
Couldn't raise them anyways. unless we did a lit
Actually,
tax.
I didn't bring that up today. I said I couldn't speak for everybody. I said, but I don't think the council wants to raise taxes. I should have mentioned, you're right, Tom. The state's trying to force us to use other taxes like lit tax.
I know.
Because everybody wants their property tax.
So what's gonna happen is the city, Knox is now gonna be able to enable their own lit tax. Because they're over the population limit. And then they lowered the total percentage of the lit tax that you can have. So their percentage will count as part of our percentage. So it's like the first guy that raises taxes wins. Okay? And I'm not for raising any taxes either.
But also, it's income tax based though, so if we can keep doing income taxes. I mean, not that we want to, but I'm just saying, that's the bad thing is, basically what the state's saying is. Local people, you need to be the bad
You guys
guys,
figure
we're
it out.
tired of getting hammered for
And
raising
what the-
taxes.
Right, and
Sorry,
Dave,
state.
Dave, what the state's not doing, they're expecting the 7 of us to sit here. Sharpen our pencils and cut everybody's budgets to the bone. While they spend money down in Indianapolis like crazy.
Right, or raise taxes through income tax.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still.
So I guess that's my question, because you were wondering about how not having this solar money would impact the taxpayer. I bet you that you're gonna feel, the taxpayer's gonna feel the cuts that you have to make first. Before, I'm just.
The solar money
If
can be,
the state comes back and says, here's the number, and you're gonna have to either cut or raise taxes.
Well, they're gonna fill the cut because they're giving everybody 10% of the property tax back to $300.
but the thing of it is, we can't use solar money to do that.
No, I'm not saying.
So but here's the responsibility is we got this money coming in and I'm pretty happy with the council we've got now, and I'm pretty sure we'll be extremely conservative. But we might elect a drunken sailor too.
But I guess what I'm saying is, as a taxpayer, I'm gonna get ready to write a check next year for my property taxes. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna hear if you guys had to make the cuts, there was all kinds of cuts made. And I can guarantee you, my taxes are not gonna be less
Oh,
next year.
They,
than
they,
are
they,
this year.
they should be. Cause the state is taking, they're giving back 10%,
Yeah,
$300 off your property bill.
or they'll be flat.
Yep.
It just won't be a big increase like
It
we've
won't be
seen
like
in the
it
last
was this
couple of
year.
years.
That's what I'm saying though,
So,
there's
yeah.
a bunch of cuts for services and my taxes aren't really going down much. That's, at least that's why.
The people, who's gonna feel it more is us. Luckily, we can buy police cars and ambulances and stuff from solar money. Yes, but like Bruce said, we can't fill the gap that way,
No.
but there probably are some ways we
Not
can get
state.
creative with solar money too.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
Okay.
yeah.
We shouldn't be dependent on
No,
solar.
Sandy, no, Roberta? Anything? You too? Hey, Debbie.
Change my mind,
Okay.
I shouldn't have to do your homework.
What's that?
Okay, quick. Should have to,
I have an example of exactly how much it was gonna cut taxes. And the EDA you passed recently. Exactly how much it's going back to.
So how much
we
exactly?
didn't pass an EDA recently.
For Hoosier Solar,
That was last year.
okay, but it did say in there,
Okay,
it would decrease by $285,000, the amount that those people within that project would pay.
Within that project.
Within that project, it's an example. It doesn't lower each individual's
okay,
thing,
that's what we need to know, so.
but it could pay an elderly person's
If
prescription,
we have,
money they're saving.
if we are in a frozen levy. And that comes in against the amount of taxes that we can collect. Then that means that it has to drop to the individual. I mean, I don't say I'm just a dumb farmer because that offends you.
The tax this year, our taxes went up.
Well, Bruce is correct. Even with taking the tax abatement, it still drops everybody's taxes. That's what that last study showed.
Yeah.
So you're right.
We didn't say it does.
Yeah, it doesn't drop it to that township, it drops the whole county.
But I guess we're getting to the point that we're gonna be forced to go this other way because we won't have time to do it.
All right, we'll take it. Chris, Larry? Donnie? Okay.
Make a motion.
I need a motion adjourned.
Right.
Have a motion adjourned, second? All in favor? But nobody wants to second anything, right?
We have to go now. Hey, I'm ready. Tom, how's the lake?
An hour. That was all right.
Well, it's still full.
No, I mean, I meant the project. The Amy did. I moved slow. They did the floors. I stopped and actually looked at them today. They're doing the painting inside, so hopefully within the next couple of days, the map goes on to complete. That'd be nice if we done for this one. Back.
Thank you.
Stage. So we're spending. Ready to do tomorrow. So that's. Check them out, we say. Let's say, coffee and then we'll go out and check out the beach and see what's going on. But see what's there. We get a hours of I thought you. Correction. It's never told me how dumb I am. What are you looking for? Use your.